This is the second episode of Millennials. My name is Kyle Landon Edwardson, and coming to you live from Hart Street, Brooklyn, NYC. It's June 1st, 2020, so you know what's going on. Last weekend was Memorial Day weekend, and it was really optimistic looking. People were outside. They were having fun, living their lives. They had masks on, but they were so congregated within their people. People were out mingling around. Some people didn't have masks on. But it looked like things were going to start slowly getting back to normal. And now it's about a week later, and the first ride in Minneapolis started a few days ago. And since then, the riots have spread all over the United States like a wildfire. Not escaping New York City. I was driving down Canal Street, and so many stores, so many shops, so many buildings were walled up with plywood because the riots. People were breaking windows, graffitiing all over things, pardon my language, but they were writing "fuck 12" all over. There's cops with armor on, basically, with masks, with battery rams, if that's what they're called. Huddled together, but it's like a war zone out there, and New York City is just, I'm just speechless. A virus, a pandemic, it's one thing. It's not a pretty thing, but it's definitely a human thing. People get sick, and we come together in those times and we get stronger through them together. And I could handle that. I could even handle a fake virus, if this was all just a ploy to just finesse some things through to get the 99% of people to be herded like sheep. So the people with the most absolute tyrannical power in the world can have the reign over the rest of humanity. And then that's a completely other battle. But when New York is completely just setting itself on fire, people are maliciously, violently protesting. It's just, this has gotten out of control. This feels absolutely like anarchy. Look, there's quite a lot of evidence that there's professionals who are starting these riots. Some extreme radicals who are being shipped into cities, across the United States, and they're starting these riots. They're handing out the gasoline to people, and they're just burning things up. So I've been looking around at humanity, and it's not what I thought it was. It's not as pretty as one would like to think. It's, to put it quite simply, it's a battle of good versus evil. I moved out to New York City with the ambitions of getting incredibly rich and getting incredibly famous. I play guitar, I make movies and whatnot. I absolutely adore the arts and what I do and what they do for me. But I've always wanted to get as many people to watch my stuff as I possibly could. And I always wanted to make money off of doing it because, heck, if I'm going to be making art, I might as well be making money off of it, right? And I've very quickly realized just how corrupt, just how hypnotic and alluring the fame and the fortune is, and how it can drive a man to destructive ends, basically making him think that he's a god amongst humans. The richest guy in the room basically has every other human in there worshipping on his feet. I've seen it, within my own friend groups. I've seen it, through the culture, and it's just, I can't unsee it at this point. And let me tell you, what I'm seeing is I'm not just seeing things as if they're just like, oh, maybe you're just having a bad day and these people aren't that bad, or oh, maybe you just lost your mind and you're off, like, it's so internal and so ingrained in my core at this point that to deviate off this path that I'm going on, it just doesn't make, I won't do it. Am I gonna stop making films and stop making music? Absolutely not. I mean, I've gone this far in my careers, both of them. I've gone this far in my career as being just a human, making my music, making my films, and been doing great with that. I've been really happy. I have complete control over the music and films that I make. I don't have anybody telling me what I need to do, putting restrictions on me, pressing their thumb on me with those $100 bills, because when people start waving the money in your face, you start acting a little bit differently, myself included. It's a phenomenal thing that just needs to be brought to more people's attention so people can make the decision for themselves. Do I really want to go the path of just chasing the dollar bills? Or do I want to take a step back and just put food on the table for my family, express myself in the ways I like to express myself to the world, and just be a good man? And I'm really, that's where my heart's at these days. I couldn't pretend to want wholeheartedly the fame and the fortune anymore. It seems nice and still has that residual hypnotic effect on me, but let me tell you, I've surrendered myself to God and Jesus in a way that I never thought I would. I mean, my grandparents, from a very early age, every single Christmas would just be Bible this, or Jesus that, or pray this, or do this, or sin, hell, heaven, and it was just all too much. And I really pushed it aside. I got myself into other types of sorcery, for lack of a better word, law of attraction type of stuff, thinking, oh, I can just make whatever I want to happen. All I gotta do is just ask the universe for whatever I want, and I can control what happens for me. And it all just, the further I've gone down this path, it just makes it so obvious to me how the law of attraction is just Satan. It's just asking Satan what you want, and he'll help you. Because most things that you want, the earthly things like money, material things, fame, recognition, those are all of an earthly substance, and Satan's army has been hard at work for a long time, a lot longer than I expected, and they're a lot more powerful than I expected. But at the end of the day, that being said, God's men are infinitely more powerful than Satan's men. Even if it may not seem like that right now, even if it may not seem like that in 5, 10, 20, 30 years, in the long run, my heart and my faith is telling me that it'll all be good in the end, which is why I'm not, curled up in a ball, completely hopeless. It's just completely insane what this world has come to. But the funny part is that it's been coming to this for a while. It's been very, it's behind the scenes, but you could definitely taste it. I mean, I could taste it. I'm sure there's other people that could feel this coming. JFK kindly warned us, there was a new world order approaching, and these people want complete control over humanity. And he gave that speech 1963, and 1 week later, he was assassinated. So it's like, these people, they've been hard at work for a while, but they don't have the power of God on their side. They know it. And thankfully, from what I've seen, from what I've been experiencing, ever so profoundly and full-heartedly, the power of God is no match to anything else. It's just, the power of God is not no match to anything else. That's not the right way to put it. It's the power of God is above anything else. The power of God, nothing can touch that. Nothing absolutely at all can touch the power of God. So that's why I'm very, optimistic that, the good will win in the end. Like, don't get me wrong. It may be an ugly way to the finish line, but I'm okay with it. I'm just a man here doing the best I can, and I'm okay with it because I know what I'm doing is the right thing, the best of my ability. Sure, in the past I've had quite the ego, and I'm not saying that my ego is completely vanished, because it hasn't. As you've seen through this interview, it's popped up a little bit and whatnot, or if you've seen, just forget about that. The interview, it's just, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying I'm doing the best I can, and that's what I'm really hoping the good people can do too. It's just do the best that they can. Hold on, it's gonna be a rough ride. But working on these movie sets, looking up to these actors, looking up to these directors, looking up to these musicians, and I don't look up to anyone anymore. I don't look up to anybody anymore, except for the holiest of the holy. It's just night and day. And if you made it this far in this second episode of Millennials, which is quite a heavy episode, then thank you. I genuinely appreciate you sticking through and watching this. Because if you're here right now, you fought through it. We're fighting through this together. And I know that on the other side it will be beautiful. Nothing that we could really imagine, just beautiful. So, with that being said, I'm signing off and saying peace out.